Good afternoon, 4NC. This is Mr. C back at ya, also known as Big C. And today we're going to be talking about fractions and the metric system. Okay, so let's get right into it. Boys and girls, if you remember from our talk during our science unit of inquiry, we talked a lot about the metric system. And I told you guys all about kilo and hecto and deci and deca, all of that good stuff. You may or may not remember those discussions, but this will be a good review for you, okay? So what you're looking at here is the metric system, okay? Now, right in the middle, we have our base unit, okay? Think of like the sport of baseball. This is home base, okay? Now, there's three different units or bases of measurement that we can look at when we're measuring stuff, okay? The first one is gram. Grams measure weight. So you often think of somebody weighing, 94 kilograms, okay? So when we talk about grams, right here, we talk about grams, we're talking about weight, okay? The next one is meter. Meter measures distance or length. So, how far Abu Dhabi is from Dubai, or how tall someone is, or how long my pencil is, okay? Things like that. So distance or length is what we measure in meters. The last one is liters, and we remember from our science unit of inquiry that liters measure capacity. And what is capacity? Basically, how much liquid or how much a container can hold. Sometimes also known as volume, okay? All right, so that's our base. Now, on the far left-hand side right here is like the big daddy of the measurement metric system, okay? And that is the kilo box, all right? So what you do is you put the base mixed with the prefix kilo, and you get kilogram, kilometer, and, of course, kiloliter. Now, to the far right of the metric system, you have the little baby of the metric system, and that is the milli box. So you can combine our prefix milli with our base, and we get milligram, millimeter, and milliliter, all right? Now, I also mentioned during our science unit of inquiry the hecto and deca and deci. You know what? Honestly, those really aren't ever used. It's good to know that they exist, but you're not going to see a lot of... when's the last time you heard of someone talking about a decagram or a decimeter? Not so much. You will hear a lot of, centi, for instance, centimeter. I'm sure you're familiar with that. A unit of measurement. When we're measuring things with a ruler, for instance, we often talk in centimeters. Centigram, centiliters, again, not so much, okay? So centi is probably a good one to know as well. All right, so here's how this works. The sort of the where you want to start with this, the knowledge that you should sort of have in your memory, if you can, is that 1 kilogram, we'll get out our pencil here, 1 kilogram, so we're here, equals how many grams? Well, it's 1,000 grams, and now here's how that works. We're here at kilo, we have 1 kilo, and we're going all the way here to our base, okay? So if you kind of wanted to figure out how many grams were in 1 kilogram, there's an easy trick. Basically, every step you move across the metric system from left to right, every step you increase by powers of 10. So what that means is that 1 kilogram, and I'm sort of writing with the Promethean board pen here, so my writing is going to be absolutely ugly. 1 kilogram, how many steps did we take to get to our base, which is what we're asked? Like, how many grams is in a kilogram? So we start here, we're at 1 kilogram, and I want to know how many grams that is, okay? Yeah, that says grams. So here's how you do it. How many steps are we taking? Well, let's count them. We're taking 1, 2, and 3 steps. So basically, we've took 1 and we've added 3 powers of 10. The real trick here is 1 with 3 zeros. So for every step you take across the metric system, 1, 2, 3, that's how many zeros you're going to put on that number. And that means that 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams, okay? So the same thing with kilometers, kilometers. 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. 1 kiloliter, 1,000 liters. And again, if we wanted to know how many milligrams were in a gram, well, we start here, and we're going all the way to here. So how many steps is that? Well, it's the same thing as kilo to base, actually. You're going from your base to milli. You're taking 1, 2, 3 steps. So that's a number 1 with 3 zeros. Okay, so it's a good thing to know these two sort of standard measurements, I guess we can call them. So 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams, 1 meter, 1,000 millimeters, 1 liter, 1,000 milliliters, okay? Now, the question is, let's say that I have 1/4, and you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and erase this part here so we don't get confused. Let's say I have 1/4 of a kilogram, okay? 1/4 of a kilogram, and I want to know how many grams that is. How many grams is that, okay? So how can we think about this? Well, if 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams, and I have 1/4 of that, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to take 1,000 and split it into 4 equal parts. And can you guess what that is? Let's try maybe 200. So if we're guessing that it might be 200, what we'll do is we'll count up by 200s until we get to our 4th group. If when we get to our 4th group we have equaled 1,000, we're right on the money, okay? Again, we're trying to take 1,000 and split it up into 4 equal parts to know how many grams are in 1/4 of a kilogram. So let's count by 200s, okay? Ready? 200, 400, 600, 800. That's 4 groups, and we're not at 1,000. So it's not 200. Let's try 300. Maybe that might work. 300, 600, 900, 1,200. We've gone over. So it's not 300. It's not 200. Let's try 250. Remember, we're trying to make 4 equal groups that equal 1,000. Let's try it. 250, 500, 750, 1,000. We're right there. So each group has 250 milligrams. I'm sorry, 250 grams in it. So 1/4 of a kilogram, one group of that 4 would have 250 in it. Oh, geez, that is an ugly 2. 250. 1/4 of a kilogram is 250 grams, okay? Let's try another example. And we will do, let's say I have 1/5 of a gram, okay? 1/5 of a gram, and I want to know how many milligrams that is, okay? So let's first ask ourselves what we already know. 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams, okay? And I have 1/5 of that. So what I'm going to want to do is I want to split 1,000 into 5 equal parts. And then however many is in each of those parts, that's how many milligrams it is. Okay, so let's try 200. If I count by 200s and I count 5 groups of 200, I should equal 1,000. Let's try it, okay? 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000. Bam! Right on the money. So 1/5 of a gram would equal exactly 200 milligrams, okay? So, you know, and another really easy example of that is the fraction of half. I mean, everybody kind of is very comfortable with the fraction of half, okay? So maybe if I have half of a kiloliter, all right, half of a kiloliter, how many liters do I have? Well, again, we ask ourselves what we already know. 1 kiloliter is equal to 1,000 liters. Okay, we know that. Now we're taking half of that. So what I should do is be able to split 1,000 into 2 equal groups, and however many is in each group is however many one of those groups are. I hope I'm making sense. So basically, we want to split 1,000 in half. We want to split it into 2 equal groups, and I think everyone's pretty clear on what that would be. 500. If I count 500 2 times, I should equal 1,000. And in fact, 500, 1,000, I'm right there. So a half a kiloliter is 500 liters. Okay? So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Again, this homework that I gave you tonight, practice it, trying to convert units across the metric system. And even when you're given a fraction of a measurement, if you use your logic and you ask yourselves what you already know here and here, and you split those amounts into those equal groups based on this knowledge here, I think it will become more and more clear as you move along. Okay, so practice this skill. If you're still a little bit confused, maybe watch this tutorial again, and perhaps mom and dad can give you a little assistance. All right, thank you guys for listening, and be ready for tomorrow.